The only other thing I could do is go on my phone.
That's good.
Welcome, guys, to my Big Brother Season 25, Week 3 and 4 HOH Veto. In the Week 3 live eviction recap, we are back. I know, guys, you're like, wait, all of that in one episode. Yes, we're trying to catch up. We had a lot of personal things going on. And then on top of that, we had some shows. It kept interrupting our ability to stream. But we're here. We're
Yes.
back. Um, what? Let me see if I can uh, go and switch over. But
Hey, Glenda.
Janelle, how are you?
I'm doing good. Glenda just popped in.
Hi,
I missed
Glenda.
you last week, Glenda.
Let me see if I.
I'm doing great. Excited to try to bang this out if we can before the episode. I'm so excited for the episode. I'm really, really hoping we get to see a live HOH. I doubt it because they haven't done that for so long, it feels like, but I really hope.
Right. I like. I was so excited for the pressure cooker because it was live,
Yeah.
and I just really wanted that vibe.
Yeah.
But then they kept cutting it, so why are you cutting the entire episode? Okay. Um, but yes, guys. So we're back. We're going to talk. Oh, hold on. Glenda says, "Hi, missed you guys too." Um, so we are going to talk about this episode of this last week and a half of Big Brother. A lot happened, and a lot didn't happen. To be fair, I'm trying to see if I could pull up my notes, and hopefully I can see them. I got new glasses, so that's fun. Um, so we do start off with the episodes for HOH. Start off with uh, Heisem feeling really good about kicking out Riley. Really, really good. And to be fair, I'm going to say this. I feel like Riley had to go that week. I think for that alliance, the professors, I think
Mhm.
they really needed him to move forward. Needed her gone to move forward. The problem is, just like he critiqued Riley on how she handled her HOH, he didn't necessarily handle his HOH very well.
Yeah.
And so that basically created this huge target on his back that he did not realize was happening. And what did we say last episode? He kept making one or two extra statements that just kept ruining everything that he was doing. And
Yeah.
so
I just
his
think I just lacked a little bit of self awareness and didn't see or pick up on how he was wording things or phrasing things, even if there was no ill intent, was being received by people. That's all. Instead of kicking him out, I wish that they had just talked to him, give him a chance to turn it around, because once he came to understand the frustrations that people have with him, he seemed very, very receptive to hearing that and trying to be different. So I
right,
just wish that that had happened. I don't necessarily think Heisem should have went out here. I think he was
no,
going to be loyal to them, and he still maintains that even though they backdoored him, if they had kept him, he would have been loyal. So
right, and I believe him. I really do
yeah,
believe him. I don't think that his statements were false. They do feel like they were false. Work with Jag or Blue or any of them, and he really was seemed to. But again, it was like the statements he was making were making we're making it easy for him to be a target.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that.
Hmm? So at this point, he's got Serene and Felicia are pissed off at him. They didn't like how he talked to them.
Yeah.
Um, Cameron is mad because he sent out his girl Riley. I'm like, Cameron, you outed your entire alliance and helped that happen. But Cameron.
Yeah.
Um, Blue and Jag are upset. Um, Blue Jag and Matt are upset, and they
Mhm.
gunning for this HOH. Um, and we do get like a scene with Matt crying because, for him, Riley just wasn't just somebody in his alliance. She was someone he was
Yeah.
close to. She was someone he um, felt like helped protect him in the game. She would explain things, understandable. So he is I think a ends up in the have not room and is like crying to himself.
Yeah, and let me add, if you don't mind, that I think that moment is why we saw a spike in the audience's favor of Matt.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why we're seeing what we're seeing currently, I believe.
absolutely. Uh,
Mhm.
no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
This, and then he has a conversation later with Suri and Felicia, and he's basically like apologizing for being deaf. I mean, because he's like, I know I'm standoffish. I know I'm not like always engaged, but it's because I can't hear,
Yeah.
and it kind of helps pull him. Like basically, Suri takes over the Riley role,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
and
I
so
definitely agree. I like that moment because she shared that she's had very little contact with people from the deaf community. Myself as well. So, and everybody is different. Everybody's going to hear different and how they handle their deafness different. But I really like that moment. I really like that it made the show. I really like that, she shared that she learned something in the moment.
So yeah, and a lot of the things that he's been doing on feeds, which I personally find annoying.
Yeah.
uh like calling America a bitch a few times, and the statement he made, the false statement he made about Taylor
Yeah.
Hale. It just like annoying,
Yes.
but I get it. I know he's having a difficult time between him trying to gun for the veto the week before to try to save Riley, and then her going out anyway. I get
Yeah.
it. I do.
Yep.
So we do see that the competition is going to be it's like a 70s style game show, um, but it is brought to us by the Humiliverse. And
Yes.
so and it's still kind of just opposite worlds. You will win, but you still get like some sort of punishment, which it's like that seems to be the theme of this, except for last the week before, where the nether region, it like you lost, you got basically a punishment.
Yeah.
So um huh Um, and so this comp was like a mini golf,
Hmm.
which I like the thought process. I like the thought process because anybody can win,
Yes.
um, unless you're like Taylor Hale, who's like a junior golf champ. It's like anybody can win. Because even like BB23, who won something similar to this, it was like Kyland or something.
Yes, at the very beginning, and I also like, even if Taylor was in that competition, you can't you can't just hit the ball where you want or attempt to. Those noses were in the way, like they
Right.
had obstacles that they had to get around. So even if you had a good hit, like you still got to get around those noses.
Yeah. So so I did like the thought process of the comp.
Yeah.
I thought the comp was stupid because then you had to be slimed for like 24 to 48
Oh,
hours.
yeah, and they really did not need to. Like, that's something that frustrates me about this episode in particular. We don't need to see everybody get, like, we get it. You could have gave us a 10-second montage of everybody, not bring us back over and over and over and over again, and hear everybody talking about it in the DR. We don't care. We would much
No.
rather see strategy and what's
Yeah.
happening than see everybody get slimed. So yeah, completely agree.
And so the people with the lowest scores were going to be have-nots for the week.
Hmm.
And we do see here, I don't know if we should go through all the scores, but we do see the people who end up with the lowest amount of scores was Matt and Corey, and not Corey, America and Red, I believe.
I th- Maybe Corey's this week. Yeah, Glenda, it definitely, the
Yeah.
slime was overkill.
Oh, yes. The slime was absolutely overkill. Like,
Hmm.
she got slimed with one, two, three, four, five, six, like 7 or 8 people.
Yeah, we don't need to
Half the
see it
house.
all. Yes. It was
Half the
annoying.
house got slimed. It was and so I also remember the feeds kept getting cut. Now we know why the feeds kept getting cut
Because they
that
were
week,
going to get slimed all night.
which is ridiculous.
It is. It
Um,
is.
so we do see with in the first half, Izzy does get a score of 45, and she's excited because she might get this head of household. But I'm laughing because Heisem is just so sitting there like talking in the microphone because he's hosting the comp, and he's like so excited because Izzy's like the person that gets in the lead, and I was like, ooh, he does so
Mm,
unaware he is a target. And
yeah.
then next up, Felicia gets a 53, and so she is in the lead. And basically, the professors will run the game for the week if in Jag's head it's do or die for the handful. So Jag does go first, and he ends up with a 37. Blue goes next, and she gets a 12. Um, Cameron was gunning for this HOAs because he wanted to avenge his Riley. Um, and he gets a 27, and Jared gets a 42, so not quite there, and Bowie Jane gets a 48. Um, and so Felicia does win. She gets her key. She's so excited. She's like, this 63-year-old just one, one head of household. Um, and Heisem thinks he's safe.
Hmm.
And because it's the Humiliverse, it's a humiliating reward. And Blue and Jag are upset. I just was like, ugh, this, like, I don't know what to tell these people because at this point, they put themselves. A lot of these people put themselves in this position. Yes, these people, Sari, Izzy, Felicia, they game hard,
Yes.
but you guys put yourselves in this position. Um, and so Izzy and Sari plan to convince Felicia to backdoor Heisem. Um,
Yep.
and when they sit down and talk with Felicia, she is all for it.
Yeah,
They
does not
suggest
phase.
Cameron, yeah, they suggest
It,
Cameron and Jag as pawns
right.
and keep Heisem comfortable for the week, backdoor him, and she's like, this would boost her game. Um,
Hmm.
but she also is concerned because she's like the last two HOHs that took a big shot um, ended up becoming target. So she doesn't want to play for the house. She wants to play for Felicia, which I love. I
Me
loved a
too.
lot of the stuff that she was saying.
Yeah.
Um, so she's going to do what's best for Felicia. And then it was the montage of them getting slimed, and I was just, I think the nail in the coffin though this episode
Hmm.
was Hisam and her sit down to talk, and he took over the whole conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like Felicia was all about it. It did not take much convincing from Izzy and Sari. I like that she is a self-interested player. I want to see people fight for their game and their position in the game and think about how the moves that they are making are going to benefit them, not necessarily always. You could pretend for the alliance, but think about how it's going to benefit you. So I absolutely love that from Felicia. And yes, Heisem just dug his hole a little bit deeper with that conversation with Felicia. He really did. And I was like, Heisem, no, slow your roll. But he didn't know he needed to. Like, that's why I just really stressed that I wish that somebody had a conversation with him. It probably isn't an easy or comfortable conversation to have.
Mhm.
But I would have been like, Heisem, just so you know, some people are expressing a little frustration about some of the things, but they didn't care to do that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think I unfortunately feel like, sometimes you land in places and it's like you need a lesson. And
Yeah.
even if you're doing, like, in your heart you're doing something good.
Hmm.
And I think we talked about this. I feel like with Heisem, he is usually a straight shooter to his patients. He really does like to be straightforward, and they probably love it.
Hmm.
Um, but in this game, nuance needs to happen. He needed a little more social awareness. And I feel like, based on especially like your exit interview with him, Taylor's, he realizes that now, and I think it's going to
Yeah.
make him a better person.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I feel like that was just his lesson to learn this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Like 1000%. And he mentioned in Exit Press that he's still a work in progress. And I really like
Yeah,
that from him. I really,
me
really,
too.
really like that from him. I think it was absolutely a learning experience. While it was
Yeah,
just, I felt so bad for him, but I really do think he's going to be better for it. And I hope he's
yeah,
not too
because I mean
hurt.
he's a couple years older than me, and I feel the same way. Like, I feel like the person I am now uh, is not the person I was in my 30s,
Yeah.
which was not the person that I was in my 20s. And I will never say I'm perfect. I will never say I don't have work that needs to be done, or things I need to listen to, things I need to reflect on. And so, yeah, I just think that was the case for him this week, because he
Yeah.
he genuinely feels and sounds like a wonderful person.
I agree. I really like Kaisam. Even more so listening to him outside of the house. It just, reaffirmed that for me.
So Jack doesn't want to be a pawn, but again, they're trying to keep Heisem comfortable. And his target, based on his conversation with Felicia, it has to be Jag and Matt.
Yeah.
And in her head, she's not going to risk Matt. She is going to instead use Cameron, who was already a pawn. And this still makes sense because Cameron is still outside of their Professor's Alliance,
Yeah.
technically. And he also ratted out everything from the other side. He was in the handful, he was in family style. He ratted them out. It makes sense to use him as a pawn rather than jeopardize Matt,
Yeah. I agree.
who they're trying to bring closer. Um, but she does push Cameron, go for the veto. They just feel like if they light that fire under Cameron, he will go for the veto, even if he's playing against Heisem, and make sure he gets it. And they think that he has the best chance of winning veto. Um, and I think that was pretty much the episode.
Yeah.
Um,
We saw him. Oh, and yeah, I didn't. The next one is the veto episode. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
yeah, yeah. So that was the HOH for week 3. I was very happy Felicia got that HOH. Um, while I will say she's not like, she's probably like my third or fourth favorite in the show right about now. And
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing against her. I just like other people more. I was happy to see a 65-year-old black woman be HOH, and I mean, really, she came out of this week pretty golden.
Yeah, she did a good job. I mean, she was a little abrasive sometimes. Like, did you see like when she like went up? But like, it's still nobody turned against her for it. Like when she went up to Jag in the living room.
Yes, which they did not
I
show.
don't know why they didn't show that. I was like, ooh, it was such a moment. I'm like, Felicia, calm down. Like, bring it. I
I
couldn't
I
believe.
don't know anybody who saw that on feeds and was not like, oh my god, that was so awesome. I saw why they did not show it on the show. I mean, again, to be fair, microaggressions, I get it,
Yes.
but I still, but that's the part that frustrates me because I say this all the time. I want black people, people of color, black women especially, to be able to come in this show and play the game.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and with Felicia, you could tell she likes the energy that like Janelle and Rachel used to bring to the show. She talks about them all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
I think she likes that ability to play like straight face. I'm gonna tell you to your face what I think and how things should go down, and cut the shit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but I personally, if I was on the receiving end of that, if I were
Mhm,
Jag, who in his mind is working with Felicia at the time of this, and she
mhm,
came and called me out in front of everybody, and then he redirected them into the room for a little bit of privacy, I wouldn't be too happy though. You know what I mean? If I was on the receiving end of it, it might be fun for me to watch as a viewer. It might be fun for me to see if I was in the house because it's some drama in the boring old house. But if I'm Jag and we're working together, I
mhm.
wouldn't be too happy.
Right. But I feel like Jag also handled it really well.
He did. It's a
He
social
did.
game. Like it could
Yeah.
have gone even more wrong for him if he would have responded with the same energy. I don't think it was
Yeah.
smart of Felicia, but she's unapologetically herself. Period. All
Yeah.
day, every day, she's the same. She's gonna give the same energy. It is what it is. And certain people, like something like that is gonna come out, and sometimes people will be more like Jag. While I might think I want to react with more than I'm reacting with, I would try
Mm-hmm.
to contain that because it is a social game at the end of the day.
I
Yeah,
agree. I
Glenda, look what Glenda said. Me and Mama Felicia would have went at it. I feel the same. I was like, oh, girl. Not everybody would have reacted with that calmness that Jag did, and I applaud him for doing so.
that's why I said she's not necessarily my favorite because she can be abrasive, sometimes overly abrasive. But
Yeah,
again, dynamics. Like everybody's not going to be like sweet as pie in front of your face, and you have to learn how to
absolutely.
deal with that.
Yes, and Jack did a great job. You know what I
He
mean? And I
did.
think Big Brother casts people that they feel are like that's going to bring that out of them. This game is just going to bring certain qualities out in people. It's a high stress situation where you're dealing with a bunch of people with a bunch of different personalities. It cannot be easy, and I already feel for these people who are exhausted after not even 30 days, right? I'm exhausted for them. I'm like, y'all got 60 more days. And I was watching an interview with an alum today, and he said that like by like day I think he said 30 or something. He was
Yeah.
done. Like 60, he
Yeah.
was
He
like,
did
I
say
want to
that.
get to the end or go home, get to the end, go home. He's like, that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking about. So I just literally cannot imagine playing this game. Like it's just I
Yeah.
just
Sharon Tharp has been doing winner interviews on her new podcast channel, and so far I've watched all four of them. So it was Taylor. X, June, and Josh Martinez.
Yeah.
I have not seen June or Josh's seasons, but I will tell you, I have seen June online and interacted with her. I've seen like clips of her season. She's amazing,
Yeah.
and then just even talk like I know Josh about the challenge, not necessarily about Big Brother. So it was like insightful because he's like kind of fully moved over to the
Hmm.
challenge, and just he has like a really fun personality, which I liked. He also was a younger winner when he won,
Hmm.
and so that also it's like him and Jag I think were probably the same age,
Hmm.
I believe. So that kind of makes sense because it's like like going through school. You're in school for like 4 years, and like by like you're a quarter way through the semester, you're like, oh my god, I'm so done with this. I'm so
Yeah. Yeah, I could, and they're saying that now. Like Cerie's like,
right.
this is a lot. Like this is more
Like
than
it's a
Survivor.
lot.
It's slower than Survivor, and like all that time to sit with people going out and campaigning and on and on. I just cannot imagine how exhausting it is. But
Yeah.
we
Uh,
digress a little.
yes. So then the next episode is week 3 veto, and they are doing everything possible to not have
Yeah.
Heisen play in this veto.
And they're doing
Um,
everything possible to make Heisem comfortable. Like, you know what I mean? To really beef him up and make him believe that he has no reason to want to be in the veto, much less win it if he were. And he was going into that veto competition with that mindset. I don't need to win anything else. My professors have won and I'm safe.
yeah,
So I think that even had Heisem been chosen to play in the veto, Heisem was going to throw that veto.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I could relax. I didn't leave people wanting to target me, unlike Riley. And I was like, ooh, guys. I said, damn, the editors were really editing him to have this full edit for this week,
Yeah,
which was kind of sad because,
it was.
but he kind of deserved it. Like,
See,
he just
I
did a
don't
little too
even,
much.
when I see that sentiment, like there's a
I
lot.
don't feel like he should have left.
Okay, I could get with that. I could get with that, but I'm just saying I see a lot of that sentiment. Oh, he got what he deserved. He got what he deserved. I just wish somebody would have talked to that man and given him a chance, because his chance was, oh, you're back to word out the house. You know what I mean? Like he didn't get any chance to even
Hmm.
try to address the problems his alliance had. You know, that's the only thing I don't
Yeah,
like. I hope I would be
yeah.
like that if I were in a game, but I don't know. It's not about
So
fairness and
like
nice.
it's kind of like how I felt this week. I was kind of like, oh my god, could Izzy get backdoored? Like that, like oh my god, that would be so exciting. And and then it's like, I don't want her to go home. I just want her to sit on the block for a little bit. Just
Tamika.
so that's how I felt with Heisem. Like I don't feel like he should have went home. I do
Yeah.
understand them putting him on the block. That's
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
Cameron should have absolutely been the person to go home.
Yeah. Yep. They would not have been in any sort of, I mean, they really didn't end up in any predicament this week anyway, but
Mhm.
it had just probably been a safer bet. But that dang Corey.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Um. So apparently everybody knew about the back door because Jag asked, and he's gunning for this veto, and Felicia said, "Oh, everybody knows. It's okay. Everybody knows, but Red.
Yeah.
Everybody knows, but Red."
Hmm.
And the reason they don't tell Red is because they think because he's in the professors that he's too close to Heisem and he will tell him. The
Hmm.
problem is the person on the block, Cameron, his closest person is Red. And so he goes ahead
And
and
tells you.
out to Red.
Hmm.
And I was like, I don't know what they were thinking with that. So these are the few missteps like I feel like they made last week. I was just like, that would don't tell everybody that the freaking Heisem is the target.
Right. To me, they should have been silent, literally, until that veto was won or not won or however, like whatever the case was going to be. They should have been absolutely silent. And if they're going to tell everybody, don't exclude Red because he's thinking that he's working with you people. I don't know why they would blindside somebody that they're working with, especially when they have told everybody else. And when Red, like you said, when Cameron told Red, he eventually went and poked around and prodded around. And when Felicia picked up on vibes that Red knew, she went ahead and spilled the beans. But instead of being suspicious, like I would assume any logical person would be, Red's like,
Mm-hmm.
she told me, we're good.
Yeah,
Like, that's
we
it.
did.
We're
Yeah,
all good. I'm
it
in
wasn't a
now.
secret. It wasn't no
Everything's
secret.
fine. Right.
Yeah,
I was just like,
yeah.
are you kidding me, Red? But somehow, some way, these people all think that they're aligned with the core of the house, which is Cerie, Izzy, and Felicia. And no matter what happens, no matter what lies, no matter what suspiciousness, they maintain this belief.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't know why they ain't woke up. Certain people are starting to talk more now, but I was just like, Red, think. But okay, sorry.
um, my whole thing was Felicia's excited that she's going to get out a big target.
Right.
How do you feel about Blue in her DRs?
Blue is spicier in her DRs than I find her in the house.
Right.
Hannah Chada, who we
Mm-hmm.
love,
Yes.
made a comment, I believe, in her podcast that Blue is like a walking, talking TikTok in the DRs, which I find to be true. Like she amps it up. And I like her energy in the DR, but I
Mm-hmm.
want to see more of that same energy in the house.
Hmm.
What did you think?
I just feel like it rings false.
Fake?
Yes.
Could be. I don't know because I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
The DRs read fake, or in the
Yeah.
house she reads fake.
DR's really fake because like she's there playing Heisem, like her message to him, like, and my whole thing is you weren't even that close to Riley. You were ready to cut her. So I like they have her amping it up as if she lost like her best friend, and it's not true because her best friend is still in the house, which was
I agree with
uh
Glenda. That could be it. Like I said, I
yes,
think that in her, if she really
yes.
hypes it up in the diary room, but my personal read is not that it's fake. I just feel like she's turning it on. She's trying to show some personality or charisma that she might not need to have amped up all the time around the house. Has to be exhausting. So I don't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
read it that way, but I like her TRs, so probably that's why I don't read them as
Right. I was just checking because I was like, this is weird.
You're not the first person that I've seen say that, so I'm not surprised, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because like for me, Felicia, I feel is also spicy, but I feel like when you hear her talk, that's exactly who she is.
Yes,
So,
she's consistent. She's
yes.
consistent. There's no variation.
No.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, it was just off putting because I was like, whoa, where did this come from? Then they had a segment of Corey dressing up like Blue, for Blue in America, and he's like basically, a Mimi because she was taking video of it, and he's like, he's fun. He's here for a good time. I could be a handsome little boy or a sexy woman. It doesn't matter. See how fun I am? He's like, it's pure strategy. And I'm just like, all right, Corey. Oh man. So I like that segment because I like Corey. I think he's fun. Do I think he is can be a little arrogant? Absolutely. But I find like his DRs remind me of like a little bit of the old style DRs, like early BB3, like BB10, like okay, yeah, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. Like it's all
Hmm.
strategy, like follow me, and
Yeah,
like
we
rolling his eyes, like these people are crazy, but I'm here to have a good time because I'm gonna win this game. And I like that. I
yeah.
like to yeah.
I want more DRs that feel like we're getting in, because that's what I watch the episodes for, really.
Mhm.
Like, I don't need to watch the episodes. I know exactly what's happening. I know who's going home, but sometimes I want to see the competition, usually not, but more so, I want to see what people are saying in their DRs. When Cerie's having this conversation with that one or that conversation with that one over there, or anybody really, unless
Mhm.
they can talk, I look to get the truth of how they're feeling from their DRs. If I don't get
Yeah.
that in the house, I get
Yeah.
some hopefully authenticity in the DR to know where they're trying to go with all of it.
Yeah. I agree
That's what
because
I look for.
even last season, a lot of the DRs would help clarify because we would see stuff on feeds, and I feel like in this cast, people keep things less to themselves. Last year, people kept a lot of stuff to themselves, so you would like look to the DR for clarity on, well, what do they really mean? How are they really thinking? Um,
Yeah,
this one is a little like this. I think that's why for me, Blue it was a little off-putting because I'm like it like in the house she was saying some different things than what she was like she's been saying in her DRs. Like she
yeah,
said in her DR she would use the veto to save Riley. She said on the feed she wasn't using it. So I couldn't figure out which one was real because then it's also I'm getting this other personality.
yeah. Hopefully, like that's one thing that I don't like, but I guess that's just an individual read, is
Mhm.
when I feel like they're putting on for the DR, which is what you're saying about Blue. There was a player in 22 who I felt that she always was just putting on an act, like this goody two shoes act. And I was just like, girl, own your move, because that was a savage move. And instead of owning it, you're in here crying about it. Like, and I felt like that was more for public, for lack of better words, sympathy or to garner some, I don't know. But I found that very annoying. So I sympathize with you on how you're reading Blue because I don't like it. Like, you're lying. Like, girl, give it to me straight. Tell us how you really think and feel.
Right, which is like what you're saying. I love Cam Talks, and I think that is a lot of the relationship we built with Taylor Hill last season. She can talk to us so much that it literally felt like we were building a relationship with her outside of the edited show because we always were in her mind. We always could kind of see what she was like thinking. Like even that last week when she had to like make that final three with Turner and Monty, and she's like, I just like, did you guys just see what I just had to do? Like
Yeah.
I just signed up for shit.
And
Like you guys, that,
yeah, in 23, Tiffany Cam talked a lot. Like for me, more than any other season that we had live feeds, that I watched live feeds, she's by far the best Cam talker because she was always sneaking in the room and her thing was "Hi America," like that was her saying. So I absolutely love that because, like you said, we really get to know a player better that way, and we really get to know like what they're thinking and what they're trying to, like I love that sort of insight. And I don't feel like a lot of people camp talk this season. We get bits and pieces of it and maybe it'll get better as more and more people are going home, I hope, because I don't think anybody can. We get little snippets. I've seen Corey, a little bit of Blue, which was savage last night. Did you see that? I've seen
yeah.
Izzy a little bit.
Izzy,
Yeah.
I feel like last night's Cam Talk was like the biggest one. Glenda says I love Cam Talk. I feel like Izzy's Cam Talk last, and I like Izzy. A lot of people do. don't like her. I'm not sure why. I like Izzy. Is she neurotic? Yes. Is she anxious? Yes. Is she up Cerie's ass all the time? Absolutely. That being said, I do like her. And when I really do think that she is a cool person, and I see why Cerie wants to play with her.
Mm.
I just need her to want to win, and
I
I'm worried
sorry.
about it. No, no, go ahead.
I like Izzy as well. I feel like I could get along with Izzy. I feel like Izzy is a lot. But I feel like Izzy is Izzy. What you see is what you get. Like, she's pretty consistent in who she is. And I like the shade that she throws. People are like, oh, they don't like this person for no reason or that person. Sometimes you just don't vibe with people. Sometimes they just like you just don't. And I find it comical, especially since it's getting Izzy in so much trouble. And Cerie's like, be quiet, like stop the hating or the comments or whatever, but she's just Izzy. And even though she shouldn't, she just can't help but be Izzy. It's so
Yeah,
funny to me. I don't mind Izzy either. I don't mind that she doesn't like a couple of people and she makes Sly look like sometimes I feel like people are on such a high horse when I see them say more and worse across platforms. So
yeah.
I like Izzy too. So I'm rooting for her.
Uh,
And like you, she needs to be a little bit, well, a lot of it more self interested.
Yes, I think that's what I'm missing from her. And we're gonna get to it next, but it's like I see the same thing. Like I feel like they're kind of mirror images, not mirror images. Like, yeah, yeah, like mirror images in that they're kind of the opposite. I People don't like Mimi for like the opposite reason because she hates everybody. But instead of her going to around to everybody and telling like Izzy does, I don't like you, or making it very, very clear she doesn't like somebody, she'll go and keep it to herself and like rant and rave like to the cam or like in the storage room. And we got that segment in this episode where she's like, these people talk too much, they're overly emotional. I don't Why are we targeting Heisel? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? And again, I know I would be that person because I'm not going to sit there and go to everybody and be like, I can't stand that woman. Why is she doing that? Why is she doing? I would be like in like off somewhere in my little hole, like, oh my god, these people are driving me crazy. All of them, every single one of them, all of
Yeah.
them are driving me nuts, and I need it to stop. Right, and
Yeah.
so I feel like you get that like difference, but people still hate both of them, and I'm just like, well, which one are they
Yeah.
not allowed to not like people in this damn house? It's
Right.
16 people in the
That you,
house.
yes,
You're
that
not
you
gonna like them
didn't,
all.
yes, that you didn't pick to live with, that you didn't pick to work with, or whatever the case may be. I see no reason not. Mimi hasn't done anything, in my opinion, to warrant dislike. She's a little, compared to some of the personalities, a little more laid back, not really. I don't see her as much on feeds. Maybe that's it. She's a little more laid back, but I'm so proud of her. She's been really getting into it the last 2 weeks, has really been amping it up and improving her position with people and solidifying her position in the people that she was working with. So I'm like a lot less worried, but I like her. And I think it's smart as opposed to Izzy, who's sharing her dislike for people all over the house, so much so that they're aware of that dislike and want to target her for it. Mimi goes and vents to herself. I hope that if I played Big Brother, I would find a confidant that I could trust to vent to, but I should not do that regard either way. So I like Mimi. I like her vent sessions. To me, it's smart to do it how she's doing it. So go for it, Mimi.
Yeah, I feel like that unless you can find somebody that is going to you can trust about, like, Tiffany had Hannah had Tiffany, like Taylor had Joseph. Like, unless you can find that, like Danielle had oh my god, what's his name?
Jason.
Oh, uh, Jason.
Yep.
Who Listen, Jason was a hottie. Jason was hot.
He's still looking
We
pretty
ain't gonna
good
talk about
today.
that. He does. He has aged very well too. Um,
Yeah.
But unless you know that that's what you have in a
Mhm.
person, I get it. Not feeling like you could trust everybody to actually out your game to actually like give them all your strategies or like really and it's so unfortunate because I really wish that Mimi and Corey could get on the same page because I think they would work in that case.
Mhm.
But like they're playing, like she's playing a loyal game, he's playing a middle rat game, and it's not working.
Yeah. 1000%. I think Corey's one of Corey's best allies could be Suri, but he'd have to do a lot to make that happen. And one of his hurdles is Izzy.
Is yeah.
Yeah.
So so Felicia made Red comfortable, Cameron made Red neurotic about this thing, but listen, then we get this Cerie, Blue, and Jared segment, which I really did not write too much on, because first of all, they're propping it up as a showmance. I can't get with this showmance. I mean, I can't get with either showmance this season, but this is not a showmance. If you both have people at home, I don't care if you broke up with one of them. I like they still have your dog in your social media. If they can still log into your accounts, y'all ain't broken up. I'm sorry. And so it's like Sari is telling him, listen, you're making yourself a target because you're like we have stuff we need to do, and she
Mhm.
doesn't even know how like bad it's about to get with this showmance.
Yeah. I know.
So we get the veto picks, and the veto picks were interesting. It was Felicia got house guest choice, and she chose Izzy because Izzy really wanted to play. She was trying to keep Heisem comfortable. She telling him, "Oh, she's gonna play for them, and he just needs to sit out the week, and he'll be fine." She couldn't wait to go play. Cam gets house guest choice, and of course he picks his boy Red, and Jag gets Corey, but he really wanted Matt.
Yeah.
Felicia celebrates at this point because Heisem did not get picked. That's half the battle. If somebody takes themselves down, they're good to go. They can backdoor him. Um, what did you think of this comp? Also, Bowie Jane hosted the comp. What did you think of this comp?
Meh. I don't even care if we
It,
talk about it. It was just like,
yeah, it
I don't
reminded me. I don't know if you saw in season 10, they did something similar. Did
know.
you
I
ever
didn't see.
watch season 10? They
Mm-mm.
did something very similar, but it was like with pillowcases and stuffed bears. And so you had to like open up a pillowcase
Mhm.
and rip it open, take out a bear that was your color. So they each had a
Mhm.
designated color very similar to this.
Mhm.
And then you had to take that bear. So now it's furry and
Mhm.
sludge it through some slime under a thing and then put it like like it was like so many bears they had to do into like a bucket, and it was just like you had to like make it. I was like, oh my god. So it was very throwback to that comp, but
It's just
oh
that stuff was really slowing them down. Like
god,
I wouldn't want to be in any comp that I have to get in gook. Like that's not my.
yeah.
I'd probably have braids in my hair. Like I just no. It was fun to see. Like Corey losing his pants was, and he didn't pull them up. I'm like Corey, pull up your pants. Come on,
He's like, was it America or Blue? They were all like, oh, he's giving y'all a
pancake.
show. He's giving y'all a show.
Corey.
I can't. Oh my god, it was bad.
Somebody called him a
Um,
pancake booty. I can't
pa-
remember. Booty
pancake,
maybe.
pancake butt, pancake booty, something like that. It
Yeah.
was um with the comp. Like Felicia couldn't even get through it. Poor thing. She got like one egg in. Cam and Jag, sorry, Red and Jag led like the entire way basically.
Mhm.
And Jag basically won out. And again, this is a Humiliverse veto, and so you get the opposite. You don't get a reward, just a reward. You got to be humiliated with the reward, and so he has to become cockadoodle zoom for the rest of the week. But he does win, and he does take himself down. And I was proud
Yeah.
of Jack because he really, really did come for this. Like him and Red were neck and neck, but he like pushed through, lost his shoes, did whatever he could to get through this. So I was very proud of him.
Yes. Completely agree.
Um,
That costume
yeah,
was unfortunate.
it was.
It was so unfortunate.
So Heisem at this point is like, you got to put Matt up, and everybody's like, do we? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh, I
So
was
they
feeling
get
so bad. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
to the veto ceremony, and Jack is a chicken. They're all laughing at him, but he basically takes himself down,
Mm-hmm.
and it, Felicia says, "Why take out a knight when I could take out a king?" Heisem, you're going on the block, and everybody on feeds were like, he's gonna freak out, he's gonna flip out, he's gonna curse out. And the man was shocked and sad. It was sad.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt. I was just like, that is so. I don't know. I think I just like if Heisem had been put up by the other side of people that
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't working with, I would feel a heck of a lot. Like I wouldn't feel as bad. I just felt bad because they worked overtime to do this to him, and he was just so trusting, so loyal, and ready to rock to the end with those people. Like it just felt extra harsh because it was his people that did it. You know,
Yeah,
like I would have
yeah,
rather
it was
them
sad.
like snake them and he didn't know it was them than them do it in his face like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
same Glenda.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We're all, yeah. It was his face like just shot. Like I felt so bad for him. But
And sorry, I found it
she
so annoying of all the people. They're like, he did it to Riley. Like, he didn't care about Riley. I'm like, oh my.
I don't care about Riley. Like
I like Riley. I don't mind Riley. Her crying was maybe a little annoying, but I don't mind her. But they
yeah,
were kind of like, oh, it's a taste of his own medicine. Like he didn't feel bad when he did it, but just on a human level, I felt bad. Even if I can understand why they did it, or
yeah,
on
absolutely.
a human level, just seeing his reaction and imagining, and as we later see him expressing how he feels about it, I'm just like, oh my god, that has to hurt so bad, so bad. But okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So she does say, Felicia says, this queen is gonna checkmate his behind, and I was like, damn, Felicia, oh my god. So yeah, so we get to the eviction episode, and Heisem is hurt. He's betrayed. He's looking for answers, and they do kind of put out some of the statements he had been saying, and I again, it was like he um he was just talking just a little bit too much when he was trying to take the target off himself. He was making statements like that he saw his side as the leftovers, that he didn't necessarily want to work with them. He does clear that up in a lot of his exit interviews,
Yeah.
and I'm glad he did, because I think that a lot of it was misconstrued,
Yes.
that week
Yes.
before. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Um, and Izzy is angry at him, and he had a final two with Izzy, but she said she felt manipulated. She felt like he talked down to her, and it's like, I get it. Like if you're supposed to be a F2, like we see how Sari talks to Izzy. She never talks down to Izzy.
Mm-hmm.
She always they're oh it like if you ever see it, her and Izzy, when she talks to her and Izzy are always on the same level. Even
Yeah.
though we know that Sari is up here and Izzy's down here. but she
And
never
my
cheats her way.
and then I watched Izzy like talk with Heisem about all of that. And then I know I sound like a broken record, but why didn't you say that before? Why you wait till you know what I mean? Like everything that she expressed to him, she could have already done. They just chose. I think that they just
To be
whatever.
fair, I think Izzy likes a backdoor because this week she's been trying to backdoor.
Yes.
Um, uh, who was it? She's been trying to get somebody else. But blindside. No, sorry. I think she likes a
Yeah.
blindside because she's been trying to blindside Corey all week, and I was like,
Yeah.
why? I don't
That's what
understand.
I
And
mean.
again,
Like,
this is someone
sorry.
she's supposed to. No. It's okay. This is somebody she's supposed to be working with, but she wants the blindside.
I know. I'm just like, that's what I mean. Like, is it you could have had that talk beforehand if you like if it, but obviously she didn't because it didn't matter enough for her to do so. If that had been Tari, I'm sure that she would have put in the effort to talk it out and try to work it out, to try to explain, oh, you hurt my feelings in this way, or I didn't like how you. I feel like she would say that to Tari. She just didn't care to in this situation, and I think it's because of what you said is at least part of it. You know.
Absolutely. Glenda says, I've been loving all of Heisen's exit interviews. I really like him. I really like him too. He has a great laugh. I really like him.
Yeah.
Um, so he does try to make apologies and he promises them his allegiance. And I think for the most part, they believed him that he was being for real. And so they decide they kind of want to flip the vote now.
Yep, and keep them. I was like, what? You're gonna backdoor somebody and then keep them? That is a new one for me. Like purposely keep them? Okay, let's see. But
Um, and so they do create an alliance outside of the professors, trying to see if they could flip this vote. Um, but it does not work. And he does end up getting voted out unanimously.
yep.
And we know from feeds, it really wasn't shown on the episode, but Corey shut that shit down.
Yeah, he did. They kept trying, and Corey's like, absolutely not. You guys are crazy. He was not about that life. Had he been, Heisem probably would have
Yeah,
stayed. But that's a
yeah.
little bit of
They
karma
needed
for
Corey.
Mr. Heisem right there because he had all kind of issues with Corey from early on for whatever reason. I don't even know, but that's a little bit of karma that bit him in the butt there.
Yep. And
Yeah.
I think somebody said it or he said it that it basically him not pruning that relationship with Corey is basically the relationship that got him ultimately evicted. Pretty.
Mm-hmm. Like Taryn would always praise Taylor for that, never giving up on a relationship. That's what you
Yeah,
have to, as challenging and excruciating as I'm sure that could be with certain individuals, with people. That's just something you should do for your own safety in the future because you never know where this game is going. But like I said, I'm
absolutely.
highlighting, I'm sure that it is easier said than done.
Yeah. Um, and so after he is evicted, the scary verse ball does start going off, and Kaser pops up on the screen. So we had known, like, from the week before when Riley was evicted, that this week would be the pressure cooker HOH. And it hadn't been done in 18 years,
Mm-hmm.
since BB6, I think it was.
Yep.
And so Kaser does explain 18 years ago, he participated in the pressure cooker, and it didn't go his way. But hopefully things would be different. But they had to get through a scary verse twist through it. And it's so funny because everybody had been tweeting Kaser, was he going to be involved? Was he going to host the comp? Was he going to be? He's like, really? Let me go find out what to do. Like he was just doing that the week before, and
Yeah.
we see that whatever happened, he was fully involved in this. And I will say, when we talk about that comp, that was probably my favorite part of the competition.
Yeah.
It was
I
also the part where they
really
get VIP.
Yes, and I really love that they brought Kaser back for this. There is not a more fitting person to host this comp. I was so glad he tweeted about it. So glad to see him there. Absolutely love that. And I wish, because it's season 25, they would do a little bit more of that, meaning bring back memorable comps and people that participated in those memorable comps. It's just like fun to look back on. And
Yeah.
for those who, watched season 6, love season 6, also check out Sharon Tharp's. She brought back a lot of the cast of season 6 to talk about their experience, talk about their experience in the pressure cooker. Super, super fun to watch and catch up on that legendary season. Absolutely love that season.
And so after that, they're going to go get ready for the pressure cooker. Heisem is interviewed by Julie. He's told about Jared and Tari, and he's like, his reaction is so
Like,
funny.
oh, they look alike. They're doing a good job. My favorite part, like I just sit here like a kid waiting to see how everybody, like I absolutely love getting that secret revealed. And I'm sad because it's almost over. Once we hit jury, there's not going to be any more
Oh
revealing. So
yeah, they're
I
not
just,
going to reveal it no more.
no, they're not. And everything's going to be so buttoned down, and the questions that you ask are going to be so limited. But I just absolutely love seeing people's reactions to it because I know their minds have to be racing. Like, what did I say to Jared about Suri? What did I say to Suri about, like, you know what I mean? Or that's why it didn't work because of Jared. And then, like, I cannot, some of these people, especially Corey, like, I cannot wait to see his reaction to learning all of this. But they're going to be like, well, no wonder. I kept throwing this person under the, like, I just love it.
Yeah. And then we also get the next twist, which is the vote for the BB Power of Invincibility, where someone will get a power to either move them anybody off the block for the next 2 weeks, including themselves. And we had to go vote for that from last Thursday to Monday.
Yes, I
Um,
hate it, but it is what it is.
yeah, and so then pressure cooker starts. Um, Felicia can't obviously compete, and we were kind of happy about that because it would have been a very long comp for her to be competing in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you had to keep your hand on the button. You had to keep standing, but no sitting, no kneeling. Could squat. The last guest standing would be HOH. Um, three at any point when there were three guests out, house guests out, then they could leave the actual pressure cooker room.
Mm-hmm.
No bathroom breaks. And as you were eliminated, you had to claim a card from the wall in numerical order, 1 to 10, and it was either something good or something bad.
Yep.
And most of the comp was done in variations of the dark. And I do think that it being inside in the dark actually helped this competition. Why we, spoiler alert, don't get to the actual record because it is the longest comp in history. We don't actually beat the record here because people were like falling asleep and stuff. Whereas
Listen,
in
they missed it by like 3 minutes or something. It's insanity. Like it was such a small amount of time. I was 4. Yeah, I was just like, wow, they almost did it. Oh, Tamika, I can't hear you. Oh,
All right.
all right.
Can you hear me
Can you
now?
hear me now? Yes, but you're echoing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Better?
Yes,
Uh, hold on. Sorry.
that's okay.
I have to switch my notes to my computer. Sorry.
Don't apologize.
Uh, there we go. Let's see. Where were we?
We were talking about HOH, the
Okay.
the
Yeah. Um. So, what were we talking about the pressure cooker?
yeah, we were talking about the pressure cooker. What did you say last? We were talking. We said Felicia can't stay in there. I don't know. Just pick up on your notes. I can't remember
Okay.
what you said last.
I don't remember what we said last. So I think we were talking about the length of time that it lasted. And at the end of the day, I think it's because the variety of it being in the dark, and then they were making it cold, and then like I think helped to like like I know for people it's like, oh wow, they lasted long, but I also think that it helped to not let it last too long, because it basically what they were basically freezing them out. Like Jag totally fell asleep during his. Like
Mhm.
I think even like with Red, I think his like foot fell asleep. It was like crazy stuff. So
And I think that like the cold, like that would have done me in. Like the freezing, especially if I didn't have the right clothes on. Just think, they had been up all day. I think on days that they have live shows,
hmm
they are woken up even earlier than usual. They're preparing all day. They've been up all day. And then they have to stand there for hours upon hours upon hours. Literally could not imagine doing that comp, because it's
hmm
easier for me personally to know that, like, to see the end, and the end is unknown. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you don't know how long you're gonna stand there. You can't, like, okay, I have another hour. Okay, I know. You can't do any of those things. So that would get me, especially if people were saying, it was funny to me how people were saying, I can stand here all day. I got another X and so many hours in me. I feel like that would trip me out too. So I don't,
yeah,
it's not the most fun comp to watch, but I'm glad they brought it back.
yeah. I felt like the Cameron was definitely trying to like get in everybody's head.
Mm-hmm.
I think it worked a little bit with Jared. He just seemed thrown off. Just it's so weird. But yeah, you could tell that that's what he was doing. So we do get an edited episode. So we watched this live on feeds. I think I went to sleep. So like I watched the first few hours. And I think when I went to sleep, it was when Izzy had come out. So it was like about 3 hours in, and then
Mm-hmm.
I went to sleep, and then I woke up and watched the rest of it. Because by that time is when Bowie got out.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, I woke up around 6 something Eastern time, they were still
mhm,
going, and there was maybe like 6 people in there. I was like, "Oh my god." I was like, "These poor people." That's the first thing I said. They're still there, these poor people. I would be
yeah,
so pissed.
yeah,
Like, I'd be doing it, but I'd be mad about it. Like, I wouldn't be standing there with a freaking smile about it.
yeah. And the only thing I noticed, America and Mimi were so good.
Yeah, they were.
They were barely moving. Cameron was talking. They were barely paying any attention to him. Um, they were just so good. And Mimi does have to shout out Corey, because Corey loaned her his jacket.
Oh, that was kind. I missed that.
Yeah. Glenda says I went to sleep and woke up and they were still glowing. and I really thought America or Mimi was going to win.
Me
Same.
too, Glenda. I was sitting there like, yes, come on, Mimi. Come on, America. Come
Yeah.
on, Mimi. Come. Like, that is what I was saying. So to see what happened. I was just like, oh.
And I think, Corey had already said going into this comp that he was going to throw it anyway. So I think that does make sense that he did give her the jacket. And the only reason why I know that is because Izzy and them had talked about it on the live feeds while they were watching the comp. But yeah, like it was cold in there, and you could tell who did not have enough adequate clothing in because they could not
Yeah.
put anything. So the episode does start off with like Corey talking. It's like, I was 3 when this comp first was showed.
I was like, shut up, Corey. Shut up. I don't care that you were 3.
3.
Oh.
And I was been waiting to watch it ever since. And now I am competing in the iconic pressure cooker comp, and I can't believe it.
Oh,
Izzy,
wait, we forgot something.
did I?
No, well, not really, but let's talk about how many people didn't even know what it was.
Oh yes, that was what I wanted to go back to talk about.
Oh,
Oh my God! Why, when she sat there and told these people they were going to compete in the pressure cooker, and these people were like, "What's the
who's the
pressure
pressure
cooker?"
cooker? I think Corey knew, America knew,
Mimi knew,
Mimi. That's the only 3 that I saw. That I
and
think,
I think Cameron probably knew.
and I think that Suri seemed aware of some of the facts about it. Like she
Right.
knew what went
Yeah.
down with Kaser. So
Yeah.
I don't know. At
She
least
did
3
she
people
did
knew.
say that. She said she that's when she used to watch the show. She
Yeah,
did say that on feeds. And I think Felicia knew, but Felicia wasn't competing. So
right.
but yeah, no, because I told you I like earlier, Janelle I think feels like one of her like inspirations of her, like in this game. And so yeah, the fact that the rest, and I understand that it recruits, but even like Taylor Hale said it in a what do you call that thing with Tara? They did like a
Deep
whole
dive.
pressure cooker, yeah, deep dive on pressure cooker.
Hmm.
Like, just because you are a recruit does not mean that you don't go back and look at history. And the person I was disappointed to, because I know I heard his voice said, "What's the pressure cooker?" is Jag.
Jag.
Jag is supposed to be a fan of this show. It ain't showing the way he's playing.
Maybe he's a newer fan. I don't know. That's the best. Like maybe
Gotta
he,
be. I
yeah,
keep every time I see him, I'm just like, yeah, no, he has to be a newer fan because I am not getting like that he knows any real history. Because why are you yelling, "What's the pressure cooker"? I
yeah.
know
He
what's
would
the
have.
pressure cooker, and I'm a new fan.
Yeah, he probably would have also been relatively young, like 5 or less. I think he's like 24, and the
Yeah,
pressure cooker
23,
was,
24. Yeah.
yeah, the pressure cooker was like 2006 ish, I
Mhm.
think. Yeah, so he would have also been very young. But I just feel like there are maybe certain staples, and not everybody is going to be like Taylor and take the time to understand what they're getting into, because when she was even in the house, hearing that she was a newer fan, she just knew certain things that wouldn't make you think that she was. You know what I mean? She knew certain players that were, we would consider like classic players, like Danielle. That's like, if you're a newer fan, you don't expect those people to know about that. But she did her due diligence, paid off for her. Not everybody's going to do that much research, and I think that did nothing but just help her game.
Yeah, absolutely.
They should have done the same.
Yeah. So that was disappointing. I was like, why do I hear Jack's voice talk about what's the pressure cooker?
Yeah.
Anyway. So yes, so that was crazy, but listen, I was proud of them. 90% of them did the damn thing in this comp.
They
I mean, they
really, really
lasted.
did. They did. But let me say, I believe, like, I just like mentally thinking about the times. I know the bottom 3, but I don't really remember times after that. Jared was like very fast, an hour or less. Sari was like
Hour
an hour.
17. I wrote down all the times. Hour
Okay.
17.
And then Izzy was like 3 hours and something something. But
Yeah.
for the original pressure cooker, Bo was the first out.
Mm-hmm.
Lasted 6 hours and some change.
Wow.
He was the first person out, and he pretty much only like got out because he had to pee. But like he was the first person after 6 hours, and we lost people at an hour. I don't know. Cerise seems like an accident. Jared's didn't to me. He's like, I'm not about to stand here because I don't need to win. Like that was my impression of
I
Jared.
don't. I don't know what Jared hit. Anyway, well, I'm gonna talk about it more in the veto comp. But yeah, Sari literally. So let's go through some of the things that happened. Felicia's watching them. She's moving from couch to couch, falling asleep, but she can't hear anything. So we can hear them on the feeds because they had it split screen with like what was happening in the house and then what was happening in the pressure cooker. So yeah, Garrett does come out at 1 hour 17 minutes. He is first. He does pick the first card, and on the first card it was hey sir, it's like, I made a deal to keep myself safe, but I was living with a bunch of snakes. You should be worried about these snakes. And in the middle of the pit was a set of snakes that did not need to be there.
Yeah, I could see if they were crawling around, but then like I would not be. I don't like. I'm not a snake person,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't be bought. Okay, like what? You know, I don't. That was silly to me.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that, let them go. Like let them crawl around.
Yeah. Or I said they should have like put them in a chute in front of them so that they would like just like it'd be like a one and done thing, like a
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And then Sari basically freaks out at the snakes, and so like 4 minutes later she gets out.
Yeah.
Because she
I
accidentally
don't
moves her
get
hand.
it, Marie. I don't get it because she said at the start of the pressure cooker, if there's any bugs or anything alive, she's out. I'm like, Sari, you've been on Survivor 4 times, sleeping on the ground amongst the bugs. You can handle them in the Big Brother house. I was like, oh, get out of here, Sari.
She's like, but I could have lasted like a few more hours. I don't know
She
what
just
happened. She
didn't
was
want to
so
stand there. And I don't even blame her. If I'm in that house and Sari winning, like what the heck would she do? So I get it. I
Mhm.
try to make it I'd stand there for a lot more hours to make it at least believable that I really tried, but I'm not about to stand here for 6, 7, 8. I'm not. I'm really not. Not if I'm Sari.
No. Saria understood. Jared, I did not. But she does pick up card number 2, and she gets a 6-pack for her to enjoy while she waits to exit the pressure cooker, which wasn't bad because the next time is not for like almost 2 hours later. So
I would have been mad. Beer's gross.
yes, that part I would have been like soda,
Yeah. I'd
water.
rather have a soda than
I
this.
read a cider. Like they were put out. I haven't seen them push ciders all year.
These
I mean,
people
all
don't need
season
a
so
damn
far.
cider. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? They don't need cider. They don't need nothing. They need Xanax.
Yeah, true. Because after this, Jared on the feeds was like drunk as hell. And anyway,
Yeah.
so then they showed the AmeriCorey showmance, which again, these showmances, they can all go. They can all go.
Oh,
And I
that's
understood the edit. I understood the edit because it was leading to what happened at the end of the episode. But I'm serious. Like
oh.
this
Yeah.
showman.
I don't think Corey and America are ever going to be anything. If they were, just
Yeah,
super
no.
cute. I like their dynamic. He's like he has highlighted weird geeky kid and beautiful girl that he would think he never had a shot with, and it's like I don't know how sincere America is, but it's like she enjoys toying with Corey. She
Mm-hmm.
enjoys making him blush. She knows he has extreme boundaries in this area, which I hope she continues to respect. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like she enjoys poking them. Like, are you sure, Corey? Are
Yeah.
you really sure?
I would more see Riley and Jag together. I would more see America and Jag together after this than I see her and Corey together after this.
Yeah, because I don't know how authentic her feelings are. She did say something about him in the DR. I
Mm-hmm.
really, really hope she's not playing with his emotions. I don't find that funny, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it's cute. Like their little geeky hot girl dynamic and her extreme flirting. I just find funny because a little bit reminds me of Taylor in the sense that she says stuff, I think, to just knock him off
Yeah,
kilter.
that's,
You know
yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean? And she like
yeah.
gets a kick out of it. So I like it. I think it's fun to watch. She's an interesting personality because I don't always know when she's serious,
Mm-hmm.
when she's not. Because I've
Yeah.
seen her like over the past couple of days, which is like so far in the future from where we are right now. But I've seen her getting spicy. And I've seen her saying something. I'm like, okay, America. So I want to see more of that side and more of the, or less of the not so serious, playful side that I'm not sure how serious she is. Like, I'm really not.
I just the problem for me is that it's just affecting both of their games, and I'm so frustrated for them because it's like they got into just the concentration has been gone, and I'm just like, no, y'all were in
Yeah.
such a good spot.
Corey
Uh,
has prepared for everything, but he didn't see this one coming.
Not at all.
Yeah, not at all. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't want to keep telling this.
Yeah. So, Izzy's not wearing any clothes. She's wearing like shorts and a wife beater, and it's dark. And she says it's disorienting, and literally out 3 hours and 55 minutes. So they are the first three out. The Fields family, as we call them.
Yeah.
And they can leave. And Kaser pops up and says, "Enjoy this concert."
Mm-hmm.
And it's metal music with lights, and apparently they played it about 8 or 9 times. um so Izzy and Jared are freaking out in the living room. They're like, "We're the underdogs." I'm like, "You are not the underdogs. Why do they think they're underdogs, Janelle?" What?
I think me and you chatted about this. I think that they are definitely not underdogs. They've been running the house almost from the start, right? Getting their way, controlling everything, puppet masters from above. But I think maybe in the sense that usually the older demographic just doesn't do as well. And this season they're running it. You know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
is the only way that I could see Izzy or I could co-sign her underdogness because that's literally the only thing that she could be referencing because in no way are they underdogs.
No. So they do explain that the room is cold, the lights keep going out, they getting this was Jag, I think. They're getting tired and sleepy. Bowie Jane does end up going out at 6 hours and 35 minutes, and
Proud of
she
her.
gets yes, listen. She might be lying about her age, but she did good for a 45-year-old.
Mhm.
And so she does get a pressure cooker.
I was like,
Uh,
they're dirty for that
yeah,
cheesy little prize. At least throw some money in the pressure cooker. Shoot.
give her a pressure cooker and an air fryer. Like, what the so bad?
I was like, y'all got jokes, huh?
Bad jokes. Matt basically ITMs that or DRs that he has no intention of winning this, and so he throws it at 9 hours and 40 minutes. I'm like, you couldn't throw it earlier? I would not stand it for 9 hours
Me
and throw
neither.
that shit. And then he does his it says to release things that happened during the original pressure cooker, which were flies. And people don't I don't know if the casual audience knows this, but the flies were dead.
Yeah, they died
They died
very quickly.
very quickly. And so it is at this point, Felicia says 5 in the morning. And they are getting sleepy. It is 10. They have been at this for 10 hours and 8 minutes. They did not realize this. They're on the feeds talking about, I think 5 hours has passed. It's not, I don't even think it's morning. I don't,
I
like, what's going
know.
on? They like has no sense of time, no idea what's going on.
Right.
And then at this point is when Red in a squat slips out of his squat. And he's Sleepy, he gets probably one of the better prizes. He gets a home theater system with Paramount Plus and Showtime.
I can't believe though, like 1 year of Paramount Plus. Like, give that man a lifetime. Come on, like
I
one
don't
year.
understand why none of these people have a lifetime.
Yeah, like give. I just thought that was a janky
Or,
prize. Like,
or
ooh,
even as long as their contract. You have me sign a 2 to 3 year contract where I'm under your belt. Why don't I have a full three years of Paramount? I'm only at that point promoting you because all I'm watching for free is Paramount Plus.
yeah.
Hello, CBS, Paramount. Um, so they are the next three that can leave. And then Cameron is stuck with this Legend 25. I don't even know if we talked about Legend 25, but they created this alliance, this
Hmm.
shell alliance to protect themselves, Izzy
Hmm.
and Sari. And in it was Cameron Red, Legends 25, Mimi, Bowie, and Felicia.
Izzy, Izzy's in
And
there, right? Yeah.
yes, Izzy's in there. And so in his head, Cam has to just outlast Jag and Blue, who are still in
Mhm.
there because they are not in Legends 25.
Right.
Um, Corey and America joke back and forth, and he's like, they're gonna have to. She's like, I have no feeling. He's like, they're gonna have to amputate your thumb. You might want to leave soon. And she's like, let them. Um, and at this point she's ITMing that she had ITM'd the rules. She was so excited about this comp. She had to win it. We know that from the feeds that she told a story where she did a Mr. Beast competition where she had to put her hand on her phone for a certain amount of time, and that she outlasted like millions of followers of Mr. Beast. She came in 14th, which she got pissed off because she's won no money, but she did it for 46 hours. So
Insane. How
she
I
had
don't even know how'd you sleep? Like,
she had every ability to do this.
yeah.
So it is Mimi, Jag, Cameron, Blue, America, and Corey left in the pressure cooker. At this point, 12 hours, 17 minutes. Corey lets go of his button. He's like, the lights had gone down, and he was like, he wanted to throw it. He did not want this. And so he was trying to wait till it was like, time for people to leave, but he just threw it at 12 hours. And he goes to pick his card, and he is a have not, and he gets to choose two people to go with him to have not. But Kaser says, hey, you're in luck. It's old school rules. PB and J all week. And he's like, oh, I'm good with that. There's no
Yeah, I would be too. Like, thank God.
question. Me too. I would have been like, oh, listen, I'd rather do that than slop.
Absolutely.
So Blue accidentally lets go at 12 hours and 44 minutes. She wins money, 1K in money. She was kind of upset about it on feeds, but here she's like, she'll wipe her tears with her dollar bills. And Jag falls asleep and is out. Like, he was snoring. He was snoring. And he is out at because Blue was trying to wake him up. But he was out at 12 hours and 50 minutes. And so they do, all three of them exit. And Kaser says the next thing will be perfume. Was it the sewage? I think it was.
Yeah.
French for sewage is pumped in and just stale, nasty air.
Oh.
Um, so at this point, it's America, Mimi, and Cameron. Mimi is gunning for this. She's so excited to win this thing. Again, she knew exactly what this was, and she wanted to win this bad. But then a fly attacks her, or a mosquito, or something, and she
Loses that
accidentally,
focus. Right.
yeah, she accidentally loses her button at 13 hours and 30 minutes. She's so upset. She really wants it, but the last card had the last prize where she wins a dinner party for her and 3 house guests. And so at this point, Mimi goes to the bathroom, and it's just Cameron and America in the pressure cooker.
Perfect
And
time to talk.
perfect time to make deals. Felicia and Siri and Izzy are speculating from the couch because they can't hear, but they can see them chit chatting.
And they've been in
And
there talking mess for hours upon hours. And
spinning out everything. They never
yes,
left that camera because just the week before when they were in Felicia's HOH, they didn't leave that damn TV alone and the remote.
mhm. Yeah, so they were like disappointed. Like me, like it was like they were disappointed that Mimi left them alone in the room. I'm like, she has to use the bathroom, guys. Come on. But I get it. They didn't want no secret talk happening. But good for America.
Yeah,
If you can get a
Jared should
deal,
have stayed his ass in there for 12 hours or 13 hours, whatever it was. 13 hours and 30 minutes.
let's
Then
be
he could have
real.
policed them.
Yes, and let's be real. If America had won and done something wild, like it's just gonna get reversed, like with the stupid power. You know, that's the same with this week.
Yeah.
So
So America confirms she would not be a backdoor replacement, and she also makes sure to protect her showman's Corey. They're really having a flirtmance, fomance. Nothing's really happened between them, and she doesn't want to get dirty. Her hands dirty at this point. She still wants to play the middle. So when Mimi does come back in at 13 hours 49 minutes, America does throw this comp, and so it doesn't beat the OG time. And she said she tried to make it convincing. I was convinced because
yeah,
it did look like that, but they had cut the feeds for a long time and we missed the conversation. And I thought she kept saying, let's hold off, and so I was convinced like it slipped. I know that even when we were discussing it with people in Taylor's chat, Taylor was asking, did she throw that? It looked like she threw that, and we're like, no, like it did. But yeah, she threw it. And so I was very upset that she threw this comp, to be fair, but I agree with you in that it probably was for the best, because her noms probably would, if she did anything crazy, her noms would have been moved off.
Vita.
But it just, I wanted her to win it. I
Me
wanted her to win it.
too. I really was rooting for those two ladies. They did a hell of a job, and I
They
hope that they're both
did.
here for the
Yeah,
Raw. I need
yeah,
them to be here. They're going to kill it. There's so many petite women that I think are going to give the guys a run for their money. You know, I really,
yeah.
really want to see another woman pull out a win. And I see a lot of women win the wall. Like Taylor won. Oh, who won?
What's that
Oh,
girl from?
DX won it and hit in 23, but then
Yeah,
Danielle Donato won it in 22.
yeah, yeah. Ugh, I just, um, so for Izzy, worst case scenario was her. For her was Cam not
Yeah,
winning. She's very vocal about it. Unfortunately for her, and America hopes she doesn't get casered. It's actually kind of funny. And
so
Felicia,
tragic.
yeah, and Felicia hands over the keys. And so Cameron says, "Jag and Blue are loose ends. I'm staying with Legends 25." And that's where he's going with his noms. He was on the feed like, you see, he was wearing a cowboy hat. He's like, you'll see my noms. You see this feather in my hat? This came off of one of the people you'll see on the block. I was like, oh my
Oh my goodness.
God, I can't. And so let's see. Red did notice that Izzy wasn't happy. He does tell Cameron that. Jared, Blue, and Jag are worried. Corey, it confirms to America, could you have beaten him? And she does say, yeah, I could have gone a few more hours. And to be fair, Cameron is a military guy. So he's used to being through these kinds of training, all night training programs, that kind of stuff, having to stay out and be on watch. So he's a little older. He's in his 30s. I think they could have still gone toe to toe. I still believe she could have took him. I still do believe she could
Yeah.
have took him.
Yep.
Her and Mimi probably. But they're just trying to figure out how to survive the week. But Corey and America are good. Jag, Blue, and Jared are concerned. And so Cameron does say he does not want to ostracize the other side of the house. And so Jag is the target.
Yeah.
He lets Jag know he's the target. And what does Jag do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nada. Nothing. I was just like, Jag, you have so much information. You know that you are in an alliance with Sari, Izzy, and Felicia, who are also in an alliance with Cameron and Red. What are you doing? Why don't you? I cannot wait to talk to him on Tuesday. We're talking to him on Tuesday. I need to come up with my questions. And
Tell him you were my winner pick. What are you doing?
yeah, you were my winner pick, buddy. Like, oh, I, he had so much information. He could have blown up the spot and really like shooken up the game a little bit here. But it's like he believes it's real and that theirs is fake and that he needs to maybe not blow it up so that he could still be good with his side. I cannot wait. I know there's no way that I'll be the first person to ask him this because we are on the second spiel of exit press because they'll happen like Friday morning. All the major Taylor, Sharon, like all the major
Sharon,
people,
Matt,
yeah,
Mike Bloom, yeah. Mhm.
all those people get first dibs. Don't I understand? So somebody's going to ask him this, and I cannot wait to see. And I really can't wait for him to talk to Tara. And Taryn's gonna be like, Jag!
Yeah, oh my God, he cannot wait to talk to
He
him. He's
cannot
so
wait.
upset at him. He's so upset at him. So he does tell Blue that she's on the block, but she's not really the target. He wants to listen to the majority, and she's like, if you know you're not in with them, really, why are you listening to them? I thought you wanted to make big moves. And this was the only time where she was getting spicy, and I agreed with her because
Yes,
that was
I'm
the
like,
first time I saw it on feed.
duh.
And I
Yes,
was like, yes, this is genuine. Like this I get. But he again makes sure that she understands she's not the target, and he doesn't say who the back door is. But he does kind of spill to Red, hey, maybe the back door could be Izzy. She is the bottom of we are at the bottom of her trust list, and we are also at the top of her hit list.
mm-hmm.
So Jag and Blue go on the block. Izzy is not nervous. She laughs at his noms, but she doesn't know. Cam could absolutely beat her. And this was not. Sometimes we see stuff like this in the edited episode where it was like false or whatever planted that there was a potential back. No, they were like Cam really wanted to backdoor Izzy this week.
Yeah.
He really did. So
He
that was
wouldn't have
not false.
gone home. It would have been if he would have did it and then they just could have reversed. It would have been so funny
Yeah,
if
yeah,
he had, and then
yeah,
Matt got the power, and then
yeah,
cancel like
yes,
golden. That would have
yes,
been golden. He would have been
yes,
sick.
yeah. But now the only problem is that that he gets to play HOH again. So apparently, with
Yeah,
this twist, you play if you do veto one of the people going home, the current HOH that it went home on gets to play HOH again.
yeah.
So we saw this in 23 where when Tiffany's HOH got usurped by thankfully Claire.
Claire.
uh that she did get to Claire had to throw the HOH, and Tiffany thankfully got to play again. And
Yeah.
so it's kind of similar to that, and we really don't want to see Cameron be HOH again, like for real.
And I feel like if his week ended with like that happening, he'd really be gunning for another HOH. You know
He
what I mean?
would
Like that'd
absolutely
be
be
so
running for
much
it. Yeah.
motivation.
Yeah. So we do get to the veto episode, and again, we get this Jared and Blue showmance. He's worried about Blue leaving this week. Blue hopes Jared plays and takes her down. Worst case scenario is Jag comes down, and then Cameron would put Jared on the block. Cameron does tell, for people who missed it in on the live feeds, he did tell Jared he would not do that. He would not
Yeah.
pit them against each other, because that would just erode his relationship with him. But Jared says he wants to make a statement to Cameron that he can't come after them both, and Blue wants to stay so she can take a shot at Cameron. And this is all real. Like, she's saying this on the feeds. Like, she is gunning for Cameron. And
Yeah.
and to be fair, it's in her best interest at this point. She has an in with Jared. She's an in with her mother-in-laws. Like, there's no reason why she should not do this, because it would benefit them. I don't see them targeting her if she does that for them.
I agree.
Yeah, America's in pain. She talks to Corey. She does it again, confirms she protected him. So he tells her his secret, that his brother was first out on Survivor.
Which doesn't mean anything.
Which doesn't mean anything.
So what, Corey?
She does tell him in another confession that she graduated from Brown, which is a prestigious university. And he's like, "Oh my God, she's so intelligent. I know I can trust her. I want to go deep in the game with her." I'm like, "Oh my God, this showman." And
Glenda is laughing because you said with her mother-in-laws.
oh, you saw, let's slip that in there, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. Cameron Red Thing Legend 25 is real, for real, and it's not, because for real is real and not it's not Legend 25. But they want to break up this Felicia, Suri, Izzy, because they see it being problems for them within the alliance down the road, because they will still target them. They're still on the outs of them. They're at their bottom.
Yep.
They have on feeds, if you have not been watching, they have been pulling Bowie closer to them, which has kind of eroded her relationship with Suri and Felicia a little more. But it's because she's been having conflict with Izzy. Again, we talked about it earlier. They just don't like each other or get along.
I think it's one-sided.
Yes.
From Izzy.
Right. It's a little more on Izzy's side, but there's some points where I do understand, and I was telling this to Janelle, I think, before we started. She interrupts game conversations, and I think today we even heard on the live feeds last night that Mimi said that she was talking to Jared about game conversation, and here comes fucking Bowie and or knobhead Bowie J. Something she said that was rude about her, but I understood it because she came, sat down between them on their game conversation, and then said nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing of consequence, nothing to help them, nothing to do anything. And she's in alliances with both of them. So it's like, I get it, because if you're going to have somebody in an alliance with you, and then she sits down and interrupts you and then does nothing, what's the point?
Yeah.
So Jag's chicken punishment is over.
Thank God.
Thank God. Jared then does, to me, the ultimate betrayal, and tells Blue his secret, that Suri is his mother. Now, he only alludes to it. He doesn't fully tell it. And so she thinks it's either Suri or Felicia. On the edit, it makes it seem like she knows it's Suri. But she's been following Felicia around for the last how many days?
Yeah. I'm not sure. Like, what she's saying in the DR and what she's doing is not really. I'm not sure she does know. To me, the resemblance alone, like, to me, it should make her look harder at them. But I'm gonna let Blue be Blue.
Yeah. Somebody said, "What did you think? Do you think they what they did was have her give reasons it was Suri and give reasons it was Felicia?" And I think that's exactly what they did.
Could very well be that, because I could see them doing that.
Yeah. Cameron pitches a new alliance to Matt. Again, he's trying to break up that top three. And Matt again, we already told you, Matt is in with Suri and them.
Hard.
He is the new son. He immediately goes and rats it out to Suri, and he basically outs the entire thing. In that one, it was supposed to be Corey and America as well. Again, this showman's is starting to put them on the outs because things are getting spilled to them, and Corey's not on his A game to like tell them, no, that's not what's happening.
Yeah,
And so
Corey's not his usual Corey this week. I
yeah.
think things that Corey would have picked up on or been aware of, or conversations that he would have been involved in, he would have been in last week that he wasn't in this week. I feel like he's a bit distracted by America and everything that's going on with her. Honestly, I really, really do. Hopefully he wakes up.
It was so disappointing. And then they do show that the one scene this week where they were like cuddled up in the have not room and they
They
did
got
the whole condom
the
thing. Yeah, it was just I can't even describe that thing. The condoms went missing. They don't know who. Spoiler alert: it was Jared and Blue because they had some sort of sexual relations on the feet. Anyway, so we do get to the veto picks. Cameron picks Red. Blue picks Jared, and Jag picks Mimi. This was the most randomest. um, and then they go to play the veto, and it's Temple of Power, which to me looks like Legends of the Hidden.
Yes, it did. That was my show, Tamika. Loved it.
I
Yes.
want to be a purple parrot so bad.
Purple parrot. Oh my
Oh
god.
God! And so yes, it like the entire thing looked like Legends of the Hidden Temple for me.
Yeah, it really
Um,
did.
and so you had to create a bunch of pillars, and they had to like be totally balanced. And then on a back wall, the letters would glow, and you had to pick them out of a little bunker, and then you had to unscramble them. And Blue gets it right away that the word is golden. We don't know what her time is, but she got it right away. Cameron also completes it. Mimi, she got hers kind of right away, but her letters kept falling off the wall.
Yeah, she talked about that. Yeah.
And Jared can't spell.
Mm.
And he also did not look at the clue. And this is the second time.
I think that if Sari were to get to the end of the game with Jared,
Mhm.
the competition, I don't want to seem rude, but the competitions that are going to require knowledge of the game, what
Mhm.
happened, days,
Mhm.
how many,
Mhm.
who, where,
Mhm.
there's no way.
There's
There's
no way.
no way. She needs
There's
a
no way.
Corey
She needs a Corey.
or an America or probably even a Mimi,
Yeah.
not a Jared,
Not
because
a not a
I feel
Jared.
like they are going to smoke him in those type of things. He is not
Yeah.
the he's
Yeah.
not the one to be there for to help with that.
No, no, not at all. He does not pay attention. He's not reading the clues properly. He's not processing it properly. This is what he did when it was the heist of HOH, where he did not read the clue. He just ran to the wrong door. He picked the wrong door, and he's the one that lost the HOH for himself.
There
Period.
were several more people in that house that probably scored higher on their IQ tests. A lot more. There just are.
He says you might think I didn't do well in school. I'm like, might think, dude. And I listen, anybody who knows me, I'm not necessarily judging. Spelling is not my forte.
Me neither.
Y'all know
I
I'm an
can't
accountant
even.
by trade.
Yes, I don't. That ain't even my strength. But I know my strength, and we. I would. He's. I'm just
All
gonna be
right,
quiet.
so I don't even know what Jared was doing, but anyway, Jag does his. He's just not sure if he was fast enough, and we do find out he really wasn't, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so because of the last comp where they couldn't show us all the times because they screwed Matt, we only get the top 3 times this time again.
Again, right?
So it's third place was Cameron. Second place was Jag, and he's just instantly
20
disappointed
seconds, wasn't it?
by 20 seconds. And the winner is first
Red.
place Red. And
Yeah.
so Red and Cameron do have a conversation. They want to backdoor Izzy. Cameron wants to backdoor Izzy, but Red talks him out of it. Let's keep the alliance together. It's too early to take this shot. Keeps noms the same. So tonight is the eviction, guys. In 5 minutes,
Yes,
and
we
it
made it.
is.
I can't believe
It
we
is.
made it.
I tried. I tried. It is. Listen, we are all cut up. We going forward. We're probably going to try to do 2 episodes a week. Like this will be both of our focus going forward. I am no longer doing other shows, and hopefully, we don't have personal things that pop up.
Yeah.
And so uh, in 5 minutes, it is eviction for either Jag or Blue. Um, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Based on the feeds, initially the person going out was going to be Blue. In
Mhm.
fact, they did not show it in the last couple episodes, but Jared wasn't worried about Cameron sending Blue out. He was worried about his mama sending Blue out. Him and his mother have been fighting about sending Blue out all week.
Yes.
And then on Monday, or was it Sunday? Was it Sunday or Monday?
I think Monday when they learned about the power, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, that
And
pumped the
then they
brakes.
learned about the power and the fact that it could cancel this eviction, and the fact that then Cameron could play HOH again, and they canceled the flip. They are keeping Blue and sending Jag out. And it's very unfortunate because neither one of us want Jag to go home. He has not played this game well, but he does not necessarily deserve to go out pre-jury. But it's just an unfortunate. He shouldn't have let himself get on the block. If he had never
Yeah,
let
he
himself
didn't
get
take
on the
that
block,
all. He did not. There's so much ammo that he had. I can't like I feel bad, but I can only feel so bad because he didn't do everything he could have done, and I'm
not
just
at all.
cannot wait to. I can't wait to hear him talking to Julie. Can't wait
Yeah,
to. I cannot wait to see his
he finds
reaction.
the
Like,
secret. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I feel like his reaction is gonna be like, "Yo, I don't know what how he's gonna react."
Yeah,
Like
I'm
stroke
excited to
his
see that
beard.
part. Yeah, I'm excited to see that part too. So he right about now they've been lying to him, but America has convinced him he's her best like friend in this house. I mean, so is Blue, but she's up against him, and basically she's like, America, the last thing we got was you can't let him go out without telling him. Do
Telling him.
not blindside him. So it's probably going to be unanimous again, guys. Just to thing you guys. So that is it. Where can they find you, Janelle?
I am Janelle Michaud on absolutely everything. If you type that in, you will find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I've been hopping on with Silent Podcast every once in a while for Big Brother and the Challenge. I'm handling their exit press so far this season. So you can check that out over on Silent Podcast. We're on Twitter. And that's it.
Yeah. And as always, follow me on Entertainment in Color everywhere. Right now, again, I'm just doing Big Brother. I might do a Love is Blind recap. There's going to be a
Ooh.
Love is Blind episode that drops tomorrow. That's like a little bit of reunion episode. I
Ooh.
did watch season 4, so I'm interested in seeing how everybody's, catching up and where they're at. Those are always interesting. And I might cover the next season of Love is Blind before I
Ooh.
cover The Golden Bachelor on this channel and Bachelor in Paradise on Reality Realness with Chantel Francis. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. Go watch Big Brother. We will be back sometime, maybe
This week.
Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. To cover the eviction episode and who's HOH and some behind the scenes
I
stuff.
can't wait. I'm so
All
excited.
right. Have a
Hey,
good
bye,
one,
guys.
guys. Bye.